Hi everyone, we will today discuss about the SDLC. SDLC is a software development life cycle. It is a procedure to develop the software. It is a process of creating or altering systems and the models and methodologies that people use to develop these systems. Any SDLC should result in a high quality system that meets or exceeds customer expectations, reaches completion within time and cost estimates, work effectively and efficiently, and is inexpensive to maintain and cost effective to enhance. Different procedures or we can say models are available to develop a software namely. Now consider a first model, that is a waterfall model. There are so many models: waterfall model, spiral model, agile model, prototype model, okay, V&V model. So we will now first of all we will study waterfall model. Waterfall model is a traditional model, okay, it is a traditional model. It is a traditional model. It is a sequential design process often used in SDLC in which the progress is seen as flowing steadily downwards like a waterfall. I will repeat. It is a sequential design process often used in SDLC in which the progress is seen as flowing steadily downwards. Okay, the flow is downward like a waterfall. Waterfall, okay, through the different phases as shown as below. Okay, see here, requirement collection is there, and then feasibility study, analysis, design. In design there are two parts: high level design, low level design. Then next coding, programming, then testing, installation and maintenance. Okay, this procedure is in a falling downward, so it is called as a waterfall model because waterfall structure is in downward direction. Okay, now, okay, now we will first discuss about requirement collection. Requirement collection is done by business analyst and product analysis. This requirement collection is a gathering requirements, or we can say that it translates business language into software language. For example, let us consider the example of banking software. Okay, now this is requirement collection. I hope you understand. Then feasibility study and analysis. Feasibility study or analysis, it is done by software team consisting of project manager, business analyst, architects, finance, HR, developers, but not testers. Okay. In in feasibility study or analysis, the architect is there. It is also done by the architect. Is the person who tells whether the product can be developed, and if yes, then which technology is best suited to develop it. Architect will check for technical feasibility, financial feasibility, resource feasibility. Technical feasibility, finance feasibility, and resource feasibility. Okay. Now next stage is design. In design, there are two stages: high level design, low level design. Okay. In high level design, that is HLD, it gives the architecture of the software product to be developed and is done by architects and senior developers. It is done by architect or senior developer. Okay. In low level design is done by senior developers. It describes how each and every features in the product should work and how every component should work. Here, only the design will be there and not the code. For example, let us consider example of building a house. It is an example of low level design. Okay, so LLD is done by the only senior developers, not by the architect. Okay, now we will move further. Now next stage is after design, the coding programming is there. Okay, this is the actual stage. And coding and programming is done by the all developers, senior, junior, and fresher. Senior, junior, and fresher who knows the knowledge of coding. Okay. Now test. Coding is the process where we start building the software and start writing the code for the product. Okay, I hope you understand this stage of coding. Now next stage after the coding is testing. It is done by the test engineers. It is a process of checking for all defects and rectifying it. Now after the testing phase, there is an installation phase is there. It is done by installation engineers. To install the product at a client place for using after the software has been developed and tested. For example, consider the example of software to be developed and installed at Reliance petrol pump. Okay, the installation engineer will be here. Now after the installation phase, there is a second next phase or last phase, that is maintenance. In maintenance phase, here as the customer uses the product, he finds certain bugs and defects and sends the product back for error correction and bug fixing. Bug fixing takes place. Here bug fixing takes place. And minor changes like adding, deleting or modifying any small feature in this software product. 100% testing is not possible because the way tester tests the product is different from the way customers use the product. I hope you understand the waterfall model, the all the phases of the waterfall model, that is requirement collection and then feasibility study and then the design, then next coding or programming, then next testing and then installation and then maintenance. Now see here we will study the drawback of waterfall model. What is the drawback or what is the disadvantages of waterfall model? In waterfall model, in waterfall model, backtracking is not possible. That is, we cannot back and change requirement once the design stage is reached. Change in requirement leads to change in design. That bugs enter the design, which leads to change in code, which results in more bugs. Thus, the requirements are freeze once the design of the product is started. Okay. Drawback of requirement freezing. The customer may not be satisfied if the changes he requires is not incorporated in the product. The end result of waterfall model is not a flexible product. And major drawback of waterfall model, testing is a small phase which is done after coding. Requirement is not tested, design is not tested. Okay, I will repeat major drawback of waterfall model. Testing is a small phase in waterfall model which is done after coding. Requirement is not tested, design is not tested. If there is a bug in the requirement, it gives on till the end and leads to lot of rework. Now we will go for the advantages of waterfall model. Advantages of waterfall model are requirement do not change nor does design and code. So we get a stable product. That is, advantage is that we get a stable product. Application of waterfall model. It is used in developing a simple application. It is used in developing a simple application. For short-term project, it is used for short-term projects. And it is used or it is applicable whenever we are sure that the requirements will not be changed. Requirements will not be changed. Okay, for example, waterfall model can be used in developing a simple calculator. Example, simple calculator. As the functions of addition, subtraction and the numbers will not change for a long time. So I hope you understand the waterfall model. In next video you are going to study this spiral model. Thanks for the day. Best luck.